Would you say self-promotion is hard for you?
Yeah, I really don't like to be like, yeah, I'm just the best. I know that I do a really great job, but I hate like being in your face about it.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you I'm the best.
Right, yeah.
I want other people to tell you I'm the best.
Exactly, right?
This is Julie Katykhin, and in 2025, she sold over $11 million worth of homes, but that's not what she cares about.
I want to be known for, having a kind soul and being a helper.
In this year alone, she's been able to help 34 families find a new home. And in this episode, we're going to be talking to Julie about the human side of real estate, how she's been able to grow as a person, and how she's been able to grow such a strong personal brand through social media and content. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Friendly Founders Podcast.
For any industry, real estate obviously as well, people hire you because they know, like, and trust you, right? And so whether it be social media or just in person or anywhere else, people build that relationship with you, not because you're like stuffing something down their throat, like as like the car salesman, has that like where they're following you around. So are you going to buy this one? What about that one? Where like my goal has always been to build a relationship. And if somebody wants to transact with me, great. The worst thing is somebody wants to do business with me because they feel bad for me or because like they feel like they owe me something, like especially friends and family. Yeah. Like if they feel like I have to work with Julie, she's my friend. No, I want you to work with me because I'm the best. I'm going to like get you the best deal. I would never want somebody to pick me or work with me because, they have an obligation of sorts.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I want to be the best too. Like I want you to choose me because I'm the best.
Right. Yeah. I feel like that's the biggest like sign of respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you start in real estate?
So I started March of 2020. That was 6 years almost.
Okay. And how has that experience been?
It's been really life-changing. Actually, real estate for me started just kind of on a whim. I actually never in my wildest dreams imagined to be a realtor, to be honest. I was in the legal field before. I never thought about real estate. I actually never worked with a realtor before. Fun fact. So it started, I was praying about doing something different. In the business, I was kind of already growing and I was in transportation and like trucking and that sort of thing. And I was praying about doing something different and kind of God put this on my heart. And I thought I'd do it to do rentals. That was the idea. And then it kind of began to grow and grow and grow. And God, of all the different jobs I've had, I feel like real estate has taught me to really lean into God and really see his hand in everything that I do. More so than any other job I've ever done, which is kind of crazy, especially like in the legal field. You see some really bizarre things. But I guess as an entrepreneur, I've had to see and trust God in things that just are just wild.
Yeah. I was going to ask specifically, where do you feel like that came through the most? Because I know whenever people have businesses, it's like you have to rely on God.
Yeah. I mean, it's every day. It's, there are deals that seem impossible and you're like, okay, God, this family really needs this help, or like, this is such an impossible situation. The appraisals come in low, or this other agent is being difficult, or, and you're like, okay, how do I creatively solve this so that my people are happy? Because that's obviously number one for me. So like, and then also make sure that nothing falls apart. And so a lot of times you come to this like end where you realize it's beyond your strength and you just lean on God, and then God put things together that you're just like, okay, that is certainly nothing that I did. Like, yes, you put in the effort, but God just, solidifies everything. And it's beautiful to see his glory and everything. And then, to be able to share that, with your clients and just be like, yeah, God answered your prayers. Here it is.
Do you ever get any like weird reactions from your customers?
I would say I'm very blessed to have been working with mostly believers. So I feel like they're also happy as well.
Like we're all praying for the same thing here.
Yes, absolutely.
That's amazing. I'm sure there's a lot of difficult situations whenever.
Yes, a lot.
What's been the most difficult thing that you've had to deal with?
Oh boy, I don't know. I don't know if there's like the one most difficult thing. There have been situations, let's say, that agents have threatened to sue me and take my license away because I was trying to fight for my clients' rights. And then they ended up apologizing. Well, they didn't really apologize, but their broker did for their behavior. So, you know, things like that, very stressful. Or especially like, so one of like the people that I focus on is people relocating here. So I've had situations that, you know, this is where one falls apart. And I guess God had a different plan. They were moving here from Texas and we went under contract. We found the house. And then somehow the lender decided that, like, even though he had pre-approved them, that they're no longer approved. We're under contract. And then the deal fell apart and they had already moved here from Texas. So things like
they already uprooted their whole life.
They're already here and we don't have a house anymore and they're no longer approved for anything because all their circumstances have changed. So
I feel like as a real estate agent, you have to deal with a lot of emotions.
There's a lot of emotions, yes.
How do you do that?
God, honestly. No, you laugh, but and I think if you ever interview any other agents, you'll notice because this has been my experience from like different coaching calls and things like that. I think a lot of us, maybe not everybody, but a majority, especially I feel like the females, we tend to be like people pleasers and we really, really, really want people to be happy with everything that we do, right? So something like that is like, you take it personally, like I failed my client, like how, even though it's out of my hands, like if you look at it from like a business standpoint and take the human out of it, right? Like I did everything right. There was nothing I could have done differently, but you know, things happen. And so, yeah, you have to like learn to just let things go.
Yeah. I feel like you're
meditate, pray.
I feel like you're part therapist, part
a little bit sometimes. Yeah.
Part professional helper.
Well, and then I think there's a lot where you know, how you said the whole behind the scenes that you don't see, that's a lot which you don't see because obviously, and I'm sure this applies across the board to like any industry, you know, if you have a, you know, your accountant or something and like, you know, you're getting audited and he's like, oh, you're screwed. That's it. You know, you're going to jail. Like you don't want him to say that. You want him to fight for you and encourage you, be realistic, but at the same time, like not be like, yep, that's it, you know, and just put their hands down kind of thing. So you have to like stay strong for your clients, even though inside you're probably losing it a lot of times. So then you go home and you like, that's where you have a lot of prayer time where you're like, okay, God, help me be strong. And it has taught me to have to work on myself a lot. So that's why my favorite books are self-development.
I relate to that. I love me a self-help book.
Yes.
I can't help myself. I just
that's like that. Those are my favorite like people to follow. My favorite books to read is like mindset and self-development because, you know, and it's kind of like how the Bible teaches is a person that doesn't have control over their spirit and emotions is like a city that's unguarded, right? So, I mean, it's been through the challenges, it's been a great opportunity to be able to learn to control yourself. And again, and to learn that, you know, through our weaknesses, we're made strong through God, right? That it's okay for us not to be able to do it. And that's actually the beautiful part is it's okay that we're falling apart because he's there to hold us.
I love that. That's really good.
Yeah.
What do you think has been the biggest lesson that you've gotten from this whole 6-year adventure? Like what's the one big lesson that you can take away?
Everything comes together the way that it should. I think even the things that look like they should have been, big picture wise, even the things that like in my life, real estate related, because we also do like building and things like that. So working with investors and deals that don't come through. Sometimes it seems like, oh man,
would have been
what
really
a bummer.
great.
It would have been really great if this worked out. But then like looking in retrospect, you're like, wow, that was such a big blessing that it did not. So I think, I guess, solidifying the fact that God knows what needs to be will be. He's always working things for a greater good as long as we let him.
Yeah. Do you find it difficult to let go sometimes?
Yeah, all the time. It's something I'm always working on.
Yeah. Well, I think especially being like the self-help type of person that I am, I'm just like, I put a lot of reliance on myself. Like I'm going to do this. I'm going to achieve all these results, you know?
Yeah, I think I honestly I fall into that category as well where I think it's unintentional, like maybe subconsciously you stop thinking about, hey, God, can you help me with this and that? And I want to improve in this. And like, how do you want me to serve here? You end up like thinking, okay, how do I solve this? Because it sounds like you're, a problem solver as well. And that's kind of how I was raised. There's not a problem. There's always a solution, right? There's like nothing that you can't figure out. So then you end up, at least for me, instead of asking God a lot of times, you think, okay, how do I figure it out? When honestly, when you stop and let go and let God, not saying that you just like sit back in life always, but I think a lot of times it's just the emotion. So our energy and our frequency that we let out, it's when we let that piece go and know that God has everything figured out already, everything always falls into place. And this has happened like over and over and over again. I'm happy to bring you stories if you want, but yeah.
No, that's amazing. I've personally experienced this recently
Yeah.
where I've stopped trying and I'm just gonna work on my relationship with God and things just work out in amazing ways that I never could have like put together myself.
Right. Yeah. It's beautiful.
You mentioned a little bit about being a people pleaser.
Yeah.
How
do you set boundaries between saying yes to everything and then also not being like a doormat where everybody's walking over you?
That's a great.
Yeah. Okay. So it's something I have been working on through the years. Actually, funny thing is I actually never realized for many years that I was a people pleaser. I thought that that's what a good Christian is that you do everything to serve no matter what cost that's at. Until my husband pointed it out and he was like, that's not, biblical. You're doing this at your cost, at the cost of your peace, the cost of peace in our home. And you're just, this is not healthy. This is not Christian as you think it is. And honestly, at first it really offended me. I was like, how could you just don't understand. And that really actually with the way that my brain works, but yeah, that really sent me down this whole trail of like looking into myself. Am I a people pleaser and why do I do it? And like, where is the root of that? It's one of my favorite things, to do is to figure out what's wrong with me, right?
Me too.
Right. So yeah, I think it was well-intentioned. Is sometimes the way that we're raised to, peace at all costs. So even if like that means, somebody's stepping over your boundaries, not, and I think I've learned to speak a little bit differently or learning, because sometimes, instead of boiling and letting things be when, you're upset about something and you're trying to please the person just because you're trying to keep the peace, you can, instead of being disrespectful to somebody, you can say the same thing in a kind, respectful way, but still get your point across and set those boundaries. But I guess, sorry,
No.
long-winded answer to all of this
It's a great answer.
as a woman. But I don't know that it really matters. I feel like I've seen this a lot in men too. And sometimes I actually feel like it's harder for men because I feel like you are supposed to be this like, big tough guy and not have any emotions. And you're trying to be good in your business and good here and all there. And sometimes if you have that, maybe you feel like you're not good enough or you're not man enough, when it's like, it has nothing to do with that. You're just raised a different way to try to be respectful to people. But I realized that, and then once you realize, you have to learn to work on yourself. But I realized that saying yes and doing everything that people do doesn't actually always bring them happiness, which kind of made me think about God. God doesn't always do everything we ask him to do, right? Because that doesn't always mean happiness, right? So people can tell you to do things or ask you for favors or whatever, right? Trying to be that good friend or good person and do whatever they're asking. That doesn't always mean you're serving their best good. Because when you're saying yes to something, right, you're saying no to something else. So it's constantly working on your mindset to say to yourself, it's okay for me to say no, because what am I focusing on? how am I bringing God's glory? Because like, even if you look at Jesus, right, he didn't say yes to every opportunity, everything that came his way. He said no. And like, sometimes he threw tables over because that was the right thing to do at that particular time. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand. I guess everything that I've come to realize is there's no like human side or spiritual side or business side or science side. It's everything's one.
Yeah.
God is one, right? So if you're walking hand in hand with God, then it's all together, kind of melds
Yeah,
together.
you should see it in every
beautifully.
aspect of your life.
Yeah.
I feel like as a real estate agent, it can be so hard because you have to be available all the time almost.
Yeah.
Or at least when I saw some of the top performing real estate agents, I just saw people who were so busy that had no time, like had no life. And I feel like specifically with this industry, you want to be a good real estate agent.
Right.
You want to like be the person of choice. So it feels like you have to.
I think I had that a lot more, and I'm working on changing that. And I think that applies across the board to any industry. So again, those boundaries, right? So there's a point where being available is important. And I feel like, especially in the beginning, like, you can't be like, oh, it's 5:00. Sorry, I'm not answering my phone.
Yeah.
At the same time, I've had clients text me and call me at like 11, 12, 1, 2, where like no matter how important it is, unless like their house is burning down and I have to call 911 because they can't or something like that.
Why are they calling you?
Right. There's nothing I can help you with at that time. And it doesn't make me a better, more successful agent by helping people at like unreasonable times. Also, I feel like that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I've come to the conclusion that it devalues you.
Yeah. Scarcity is important. Like,
Right.
You can't always be available.
Right. So if you like, it goes to like brands, your Louis Vuitton or Chanel, like if everybody could have it, not everybody would want it. Right.
Yeah.
So it applies across the board. If anybody can call you at any time or text you or whatever, email you and at their, request, you're there helping them, then maybe you're not busy doing anything else.
You have nothing to do.
Like, right. So and aside from that, you have to like, and if somebody doesn't understand that and doesn't want to work with you, then that's okay. I don't know that I want to work with them either.
Yeah.
They can find somebody that aligns with their values.
Yeah. I love
and it's
that.
okay to say that. It's hard, especially in business, especially when you're new and you're not.
And you're struggling too. And especially if it's like really important to you, you need that client. It's
Right.
hard to like turn someone down because like the values don't line up,
Yes.
but it's really important that you do.
It is, because when I have taken on those situations with clients that don't respect you or value you, no matter what you do, first of all, me as an agent, I'm always going to feel like I underperformed because they're not happy. And so then you're not really serving them. And like, yeah, maybe you made money, but sometimes maybe you think
dirty.
you made money, but what if God had something even better for you if you poured your energy into somebody that appreciated what you have?
Yeah. You never know. Like, it could have been a better relationship. We talked a little bit about this before we started the pod, about how like you get this gut feeling about people. And I think it's really important that you listen to it because your subconscious is very good at like detecting things. And like even if you make money in the transaction, like you said, if you leave feeling dirty or something feels wrong, it's usually it doesn't even work out well. Usually there's something.
Usually it doesn't work out well, right? Because you're just clashing.
Yeah. One thing that I've seen you work on and just can appreciate is you get coaching. You find places where you could use help and you find professionals that can help you out in that.
Yeah.
What's that process been like?
I mean, it's been great. It's been, I'll be honest, a little stressful because it takes a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
it
time.
takes resources.
Right. But all the great people I've ever listened to that I guess you could say I aspire to be like, there hasn't been a single one that didn't have a coach, because they always say if you want to be bigger and better and like expand and grow, right, you always have to be the dumbest in the room. You can't be the smartest in the room and expect to grow. And so, yeah, you have to get coaching. And a lot of times it's virtual because, maybe there's not somebody in a small town that like is able to do what you're trying to do, but you find the opportunities
Has it
and
been
grow
worth
those
it?
relations. Yeah, Absolutely. It's helped change my mindset. Um, it,
What
a
was your
lot of,
mindset before, and what did it change?
I think the whole scarcity thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that has been one of the biggest things is saying yes to every opportunity because it's an opportunity to make money, which, I think if you're just listening on the screen, you're like, oh yeah, you just want to make money. Yeah, because we have bills to pay, right? That's important. But when you stop thinking from that scarcity, like I have to have every deal, no matter what, if it aligns with my personality, if it aligns with my goals, we don't say no to anything. We do
Right.
everything, right? You end up like taking your time away from things that actually could be good for, the people that you're trying to serve. And then also for your family as well, of like the reason why you do anything, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's taught you like from people that actually, okay, because I guess for me, like when you listen to podcasts or like online, and people are like, yes, I had to say no to things. And then my business expanded. You're like, whatever. Yeah, that's because you're, this millionaire with millions of followers kind of person. But when you talk to somebody, especially like that feels more human, I guess, or relatable, and they're like, yeah, I had to say no to a lot of opportunities so I can get better opportunities. It really like, I guess, solidifies the fact that you can't say yes to everything, and it's okay to like say no to certain opportunities as well.
No, for sure. I feel like you wouldn't step into a relationship with someone who's a bad fit.
Yeah.
Because you're stopping yourself from stepping into one with someone who could be a really great fit. And yeah, I think it's really important to dedicate your time and resources into stuff that you want more of, not less of. Because even if you work with someone that isn't a good fit, like it's just, like I said, it's not going to end up being well.
Yeah.
You've also worked with real estate coaches, and I'm pretty sure you've also worked with social media coaches too, right? Yeah. Okay, what has social media done for your business? 'Cause I know real estate and social media they go very closely hand in hand.
Yeah.
What kind of a role has social media played in your real estate business?
I mean, it's been pretty amazing because it's been giving me the opportunity to connect with people I would have never otherwise connected with. So people moving here from out of town, coaches at JMU, things like that normally are not in my sphere that I normally would talk to. But, they're moving here. They don't know anybody.
I feel like you're one of the like forward-thinking real estate agents. What, you don't believe that?
I'm working on, yeah. I could be forward-thinking, but I'm working on this mindset that I struggle with across the board with everything is comparison. So I'm blessed to be in networks with like incredibly successful people, incredibly successful with social media, where they're getting, I don't know, 5+ leads a day, every day, which is, or more, which is very incredible.
It's hard not to compare yourself to them.
Yes, I'm certainly not there, but I've had great opportunities and deals that have come from it. And if not that, then obviously also being able to stay top of mind, or people reaching out to me that probably would have felt uncomfortable just to give me a call or shoot me a text. I feel like DMs are a lot, more nonchalant.
Yeah.
And less pressure.
I think if you're going to compare yourself, you should compare yourself to someone who's doing zero.
See, I could never do that.
But see, think about it. There's so many real estate agents that are not doing anything on social media.
Right.
They're not forward thinking at all. They're like,
I wasn't raised that way. I never look at the people that aren't doing well. I always look at like the really, really good ones.
Yeah.
And like, that's
well, I think you have to look at both.
Yeah.
Because you have to see how far you've come, and then you have to see like, okay, where am I going to go though?
Yeah.
I think in the world that we live in with social media in general, it's just hard to not compare.
It is, especially because you're seeing people from like all over the world and how well they're doing. And especially for me, okay, so I'm not old, but I'm not like super young either. So I'm 36 now, right? Okay. And when you hear about people in their early 20s doing all this amazing stuff, you're like, man, I was not doing that in my 20s.
I know how you feel.
Like I thought I was doing pretty well, but I apparently not at all, with these people that were like, in their 20s and they started real estate and then they started investing in stocks and bonds and now they're millionaires. And you're like, yep, I had a 9 to 5 and I thought it was good because I got promoted to manager. Yay. Like.
But see, everyone goes at their own pace.
Right.
Like I know what you mean, especially with like social media. You get to see all these case studies of people that do amazing things, but you're doing amazing things too, I think.
With God's help. Yes. I've been working on slowing down, and instead of like, I guess, running the rat race, it's actually something that's been like really heavy on my heart. Instead of running like the race of like success, it's slowing down and trying to see what God wants me. Like, what is success for him? Because honestly, my biggest fear is when I come to die, I know I'm going to heaven, but I want to come to heaven and look at God, and he's going to look at me and say, I'm proud of you. You did the right thing. You served me well. I don't want to succeed in the eyes of the world and then be like, oh, well, but God's not proud of you. You didn't do anything that was meaningful. Look at all these other people that brought, people to God and served others selflessly, but good for you. You sold billions and billions or did whatever or built the successful empire. Good for you. What else did you do? All these other people that you could have served and told about God or been a kind, like a good shoulder to cry on, you weren't there. So that's, like, I think sometimes that's what Satan wants us to do, is to get distracted with success or what we think success should be. But to slow down and ask God, because I think when we put him first, he puts everything else. He wants us to be successful. He wants us to have money and stability on the things that we crave, right? But Satan, I think a lot of times makes us think that it's the only way is to hustle and grind and kind of put God a little back because like we're really busy building this thing right here. Yeah. So I think especially like end of 2025 and this year, God's really been laying it heavy on my heart to like, instead of not do my work, but like slow down and really focus on what is it that he wants me to do every single day. Yeah. And then you really feel fulfilled and good.
I love that. And like you said, it's all intertwined. Like it's all, this has been on my heart heavy too. I've been thinking about this so much. I was listening to Philip Anthony Mitchell speak. He's a pastor, and he was talking about like, you're going to build up this platform. You can do all these things for what?
Yeah.
You're not going to reach any souls. Like you're not going to talk about anything. And I've been thinking like, even on this podcast, I know I want this to be a business. I know I want this to make money. I know I want to get sponsors. But like, if I'm not talking about what I believe in and my values, or like if no one is going to find out or learn anything about Jesus or Christianity or anything, like what am I doing this for? And so it's also been heavy on my heart, just thinking about like, how can I do the thing that I want to do, but also put God into it? And like, I don't want this to be for nothing. I don't, even if it becomes Diary of a CEO or whatever amazing thing. If I never,
which I'm
talk
sure
about
if you
God,
believe it could be.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
we can work on it. But
remember, you're my friend, right? No.
I got you. But it's just if I do get the success that I think I want, and I don't reach anyone, what was it all for?
Yes. And also another thing that I've been thinking about is what is success, right? So, a lot of times I think we're chasing numbers or like I did this and this or built these businesses and scaled this and, like developed that. So I'm so successful, right? I'm like Alex Hormozy. I built all these multiple businesses and sold them. And now I'm a speaker and everybody's like looking to me. Maybe I feel like, that's the world's definition of success. But what if that could be success, but something else could also be success? I think that when we're focusing on God, he'll be able to show you all of that and maybe more or in a different way. Because I've personally met business owners that I've talked to that are my friends, but also like listened to others. There's actually a couple that I used to follow a lot, Mimi and Alex Icon, and they built Intelligent Change, like the notebooks and stuff. And then they had multiple businesses. And one of the things that I know Mimi talked about was they achieved all their goals and all the, checklists of all the things. And then she ended up going like to this like Buddhist meditation center because she felt incredibly depressed. because what she thought would make her happy and feel successful made her feel just as empty as when she started. She's like, yeah, I did it, but I didn't feel good. And that's just been kind of, again, heavy on my heart because you're so busy trying to achieve this success, but maybe you're being distracted from what success really is, because when you get there, you might be thinking that that's not what you wanted at all.
Yeah.
And you're left empty.
How would you describe success for you? Like, what makes you feel fulfilled?
Honestly, I've been rethinking that. And it's kind of, if you go back to what I've said earlier, it's making sure that I'm pleasing God. And what pleasing God is different, I think, every day. Every day he has a special mission for us. And when I trust him, he gives me the business that I want and even more. Like I'll write things on my vision board, right, that I think I want, and then he'll give me triple that. But only when I let go and I trust him and I put him first. And then he gives me opportunities to serve people. And sometimes you don't even know that you helped somebody, with a kind word or a hug, or like you gave them food and like it was nothing to you. You didn't even think about it. You forgot about it, but you served somebody. So I feel like, when you focus on that, that's success.
What do you think God's mission for you today was?
It's funny you say that because I actually, a lot of times I don't take the time to really ask God, what do you want me to do today? I think it was to be kind to my family and not be so stressed with all the stuff I have going on. So, yeah.
No, that family's tough.
It's, yes,
It's
especially when
you're
you're...
close to you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like we end up being the meanest to the people we love the most.
And then you think it's okay because, like, they know me.
They love me.
Yeah.
Right?
They know I'm not this mean.
Right. Yeah. Lots of things to think about, right?
For sure.
Depressing things I'm throwing at you now.
No. This is good. This is good. This is where this is where my Russian soul loves to be.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure that you get to deal with a lot of good emotions, like excitement, joy when people get a new house. There's also, I'm sure, a ton of not so pleasant ones, like grief, like selling a house after someone passes away or something like that. What's the most difficult situation that you've been through real estate?
I mean, there's been a few. I think I guess it all is for your perception, and what I see as difficult might not be difficult for someone else. So we all kind of look at things from our own perspective, right? But for me, it was really hard to see this amazing little family buy their first house. And then the next year they called me because they're getting a divorce and they need to sell the house. That was really sad. So things like that, and then helping them navigate through like divorce and separating and then allocating the assets and things like that. And trying to do that in a civil manner when there's a lot of emotions, when everybody's upset with each other.
Yeah, that sounds extremely difficult.
Yeah, but you learn how, and having my legal background was certainly helpful in this because I did actually do a lot of like family law. So, yeah.
What do you think is the best thing about your community that you surround yourself with? Like, where do people get value from in working with you?
I think we have a really intelligent and friendly community that is very open to helping. So hence the Friendly City, I think, is a like super suitable name. So aside from working with me, I love the fact that and I actually take pride in this, to be able to connect people with whoever they need. So yes, I'm a realtor, but I can help you find a plumber, a florist, a person who can do your podcast, a person who can set up your website and help you do your design, whatever like area you need. A lot of times it's stressful. Yes, we have Google and Chat GPT that can tell us like the 5 best, but to be honest, a lot of times people don't want to do that. They want to go to you and say, hey, what did you use for this particular, thing? Did you like them? Were they great? Were they dependable? Did they, were they affordable and didn't, charge me outrageous numbers? Great. That's who I want to hire. Be it lawyers, be it a dentist, like I feel like it's beautiful to be able to connect people together, because we're working through different parts of their life.
Absolutely. And word of mouth is still super important.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways I see you do this the best that I love seeing is the way you do it on social media.
Okay,
How you do
interesting.
collaborations with
Okay.
different providers, businesses, random people, and you just offer, like, you're kind of like a local guide. Like, I see things that I have no idea about these businesses that you do collaborations with, giveaways. What's that process been like? And how do you come up with someone and be like, I would love to tell more people about you? Are they usually really open to that?
Yeah, they are. And it's, again, okay, so I'm kind of this introverted extrovert kind of person. So
they have a word for that now.
Yes.
I think it's called omnivert.
Yes, I think you're right.
Okay.
Yes, and I always forget the official term, but yeah, I need, like, it's hard for me to talk to people, but I can. And people say that I look like I'm very social.
Yeah,
like,
I would not be able to tell that. It's hard for you to talk to people.
Yeah, but I try to look at, so obviously I have a family, and I try to think of like what other families would be interested in. And so I, do my videos, and then I approach them. And a lot of business owners are excited because they don't have anybody like collaborating and getting their, business out to others. That's a huge deal. Especially if you have like a brick and mortar, and you're paying the rent and your employees and all of this, and like nobody's coming to your business.
It's hard
and
to
then
be a business owner,
right?
It's hard to be a business owner.
Yeah. So they're super excited. I feel like they're like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I have had a lot of like, nobody's ever come up to me for this. That's okay. Yeah, let's do it. Like, they're super excited.
Yeah.
And it's a great opportunity to connect with local business owners, because I have a heart for that, because I know how hard it is to do that and to build that community. So I'm like so happy when I can connect them with other people as well.
Yeah. I love that. And I personally love seeing like all these new businesses that
I'm glad to hear that.
About. No, I think, and it's probably one of the best content strategies. I'm sure you learned this in in all your real estate coaches, but like people want to know about the area. They want to know about like where they're moving. They want to know like what to do there.
Right.
I think the area that we live in specifically just gets like a bad rap that there's like nothing to do here. But like that's, first off, I don't think that's true. I think there's a ton of amazing things to do. But it's just helpful to have, like, even if I'm not buying a house, I still want to like have a friendly local guy that can, that I trust, that is more of a friend rather than like a salesperson. And you spoke to that in the beginning of like just being that for people.
Well, about the whole salesperson, I mean, like that has always been my motto. And sometimes, if you want to call it to my detriment, like if I meet with my clients, I mean, buyers as well, but especially sellers, like, and if their goal and their finances don't align, then I tell them, don't do it. It's not the best thing for you. Or, I mean, I recently just, one of my new buyers, we looked over their finances. We met with lenders, and they could buy a house, but it would be like super stressful. And I told them, I'm like, how about we wait another year? Here's what we're going to be doing, and then you buy. For me, I'm losing a commission for another year, maybe more, maybe never, right? But I'd rather serve people because, yes, again, money is important, right? Money is important for everybody. Nobody ever does anything for free because, we all need to like live, right? But I strongly believe that I want to serve people and do good, because that's what God teaches us to do. And it actually, honestly, brings me joy and purpose knowing that I was able to serve somebody and like give them good advice in life.
No, it's like back to what you were saying about saying no to some things,
right?
To open the door for other things. And I think this goes so much for like, this is branding. This is like, what kind of an impact do you want to have? Like, what, if I can trust you, there's like, brand is trust. It's like what other people say about you.
Yeah.
And if people say like, oh, she's helpful, I can tell she's not out to like make a check or, make some money. She's here. She actually helped me out. She gave me advice that maybe didn't help her, but it was what I needed to hear. People can see that. And like the way that people can tell subconsciously if you're trying to scam them, people can also tell if you're being helpful.
I feel like they can also feel you, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe you're not saying it obviously, but there are some people like, yeah, that's a great deal. Go for it. Where a lot of times, like, especially as we tour different homes, I'll get an idea of what my clients want. And sometimes they're like, well, whatever, we can settle for this. I'm like, no, this isn't what you want. Like, we could do better than this. And I tell them not to buy a certain home because I know that that's not the best thing for them. Yeah, to me, and like you'll see it on my social media as well, because it's like so near and dear to my heart, is I want to be your real estate resource. And what that means is when you think real estate, you come to me, but also I want to, like, again, connect you with anybody local. It's not, there's no such thing as I don't know the answer. If I don't know the answer, I'll find out. There's always a solution to something. If, there's a problem, I, try to creatively help you solve it. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, no, I would love to have you.
That's at least the mindset and the work that I try to do. No matter what we're doing.
I love that, and that goes a long way. Like you said, people feel it,
and I think so.
And like, if you can build that up and be known for that, then that would be amazing.
And I feel like, big cities too, but especially a small town like ours.
Yeah, you kind of lean into
your
it.
reputation goes a long, long way. Yeah. And that's number one, because there are people that, again, like I said, I can't say that I do it just because, I'm such a kind person. I feel like I'd be a hypocrite. Like, I don't feel like anybody does any sort of business. Well, okay, well, I'm sure there are some. But anybody, at the end of the day, everybody wants to get paid, right?
Of course.
But are you putting, like, your selfishness over others or the right thing to do? That's different, So obviously, and I feel like realtors can be notorious for that, where they push somebody to just close the deal and just buy that house, like, or just sell your house, whatever, like, we'll figure it out later, versus is that like your client's best, because you technically have a fiduciary duty, right? Not to yourself, but to your client, to serve their best need. But a lot of times people are like, yeah, no, it's great. Go for it.
Yeah.
So just kind of having that in mind. And I hope and feel like most of my clients can say that, yeah, like she, no matter what, she looks out for us.
How do you feel like you can portray that in the digital world on social media? How can you take that, like, package up that personal experience that you create for people and like show
now, if you tell me, I'll pay you the $1 million. I feel like it's through storytelling. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but I feel like I struggle with this a lot, because a lot of, at least people that I watch in my industry that do the storytelling, they talk about how successful they are. And so they're like, oh, my client had this terrible thing and I solved this for them. And I struggle doing that for a number of reasons, but primarily because I was taught not to brag, right? So I don't like to like flash my accomplishments.
Would you say self-promotion is hard for you?
Yeah. I really don't like to be like, yeah, I'm just the best. I know that I do a really great job, but I hate like being in your face about it.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you I'm the best.
Right. Yeah.
I want other people to tell you I'm the best.
Exactly. Right. Like even okay, let's put it like this. So a lot of people in real estate, like at the end of the year, right? So we're just crossed New Year's. A lot of people like to be like, I sold this million of whatever, and I served this many clients. And I just have a hard time doing that because I don't know, doesn't sit right with me. Because I feel like people will know that you served so many people, because you can usually see that you're successful, and I don't have to like brag in your face, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
What's been the hardest thing about social media for you? Is it the self-promotion?
That, and also I do not like how I look and sound on camera. I don't know. And especially having like friends and family that watch you and they're like, that has been hard, and trying to, not be bland and have some interesting content. But interesting means sometimes you're doing things outside the box and people might laugh at you or, be like, what in the world? Who does she think she is? I mean, I've had, comments like, does she think she's a realtor or is she like trying to be a celebrity, or like, well, who does she think she is? Like, what the heck is she doing with like her videos? And I know some of mine are weird. Like I've, been on the top of a car,
You got to do hooks.
like, so.
But how does that make you feel when you get comments like that?
I mean, I don't think anybody ever enjoys them, but to be honest, I've never had a bad comment like that from anybody that I respect. And that usually has been my North Star for whatever I do. If it's somebody that I look up to and respect, that I know loves me and is being genuine to me and says, I would maybe do this differently. I always love to hear that like constructive criticism. But if it's somebody that's just sitting back and consuming content and is like, whatever, like, then it doesn't matter because they haven't done anything that I feel like their words should matter. Everybody's always going to have some opinion.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It's very, like, it's crazy to think that you're going to be good at something when you first start. And when you first are making stuff, especially videos, you have to listen to yourself.
Right.
You have to see yourself. It's just going to be cringe. Like
a little bit.
It will be cringe, but that's like anything worth doing is going to
Mm-hmm.
be cringe in the beginning.
Well, I've even like listened to interviews with a lot of actors, and they say they can't watch their own movies.
I can't watch my first things that I've done. It's so bad, but you just you have to go through it in order to get to where you want to go.
Right.
I think Pablo Picasso's quote is, "I do that which I cannot do in order that I may learn how to do it." So like, you're not going to know.
Yeah, 100%. That's been my thing with social media. There's a lot of stuff I look at. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. We're just going with it. I mean,
and I think there's a certain amount of acceptance you have to get. Be like, this is as good as I can do for right now. I will get better, but you have to have like an ending point. You have to be like, I need to get a video out. And I think that pressure is good sometimes. Like, I just need to complete something. And sure, I know I'm going to look back at it and I'm going to be cringed out by it, but I'm going to do the best that I can right now. And that there will be a completion point to it. And you just have to accept it and then just do better on the next one if you can.
Consistency. That's been the message kind of that I've been like hearing in a lot of podcasts. So I feel like maybe that's what God's, reassuring me with, is that it doesn't have to be perfect or done. You're just, like maybe consistency is like, one day it's 1%, one day it's 99, one day it's 50, one day it's 60, one day it's 20, but you're always doing it no matter what it is. Like whether it's working out or trying to eat right or whatever, you don't give up because today, like you didn't do quite as good. And like, so I've been working on consistently posting on social media, which is hard because like, first of all, it's like, you're trying to be creative. But sometimes you're like, you know what? I'm not doing anything creative. It's just this bland, whatever video, but I have to do it. I promised myself that I will. And it's being consistent through it, which first of all, I feel like the algorithm rewards you because you're consistent. I'm not saying to put out trashy content and just have that be your standard, but if it's nothing versus something that's like, okay, I would say I would go with the okay personally to me. And I feel like that's brought me a lot more success than just like looking for that one perfect video. Because like, for example, when I do my listing videos, I always hire a professional videographer, right? Obviously that's not going to be across the board for every video that I do. So you can clearly see like when I did the video montage myself or when, a professional did it, but like better done.
Done is better than perfect for sure. I don't think it matters if you do it yourself versus get a professional.
Okay.
I think what matters is how you present the information. Obviously you can tell whenever a video is done professionally, but a lot of these like professional people that do it, they're not good at storytelling. They can make like a video, but like.
Well, actually that's your job. So, I mean, and one day maybe we'll see, but you have to me at least, take that responsibility and tell them how to write that story. Because the videographer is trying to cater to like your needs, right? And I love working actually with the TDC here. I've like harassed them all the time with all my different weird videos because, I mean, I'm sure you've seen like, not everyone obviously, but for a majority of the agents, like nobody cares to do that here. And I feel like it actually does play a big role.
Yeah. Do you ever burn out whenever you're creating content?
Yes.
What do you do when you burn out?
So I have a membership with Coffee and Contracts,
Okay.
and they have templates, and I just copy and paste.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying consistency. You have to have like a plan in mind, I feel like, for when you're tired and you really don't care.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a lot of those moments. And you have to, like, if you're depending, that's actually, I was listening to that in a podcast. If you're depending on yourself feeling motivated and like, yes, I'm on track every day, you're not going to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have like a plan in mind to be able to succeed. And that's actually like one of the events that we went to with my husband. He's, I feel like I'm going to butcher what he said, but he's like, you don't fall to the measure, to the standard of your goals. You fall to what your standards are. So like your success is never going to be what your goal, like if my goal is to make $1 million this year, but my standards are, like I don't wake up early, I don't work out, I don't eat right, I don't take care of my mental health, I don't, like, for example, make the phone calls or write the letters or write the emails or make the content.
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to reach my goal? Yeah, I can have all the dreams that I want, but if my standard is to do nothing and sit back and wait for it to come to me, that's going to be my result.
Yeah. And this applies to everything. It permeates everything that you do. So when you were burning out, what kept you going?
Yeah. So again, the whole motivation thing. Mike Sherrard, we went to his event and he was showing us like the backwards of how, because if you look at his content now, you're like, wow, this guy like is amazing. He speaks well, he hits the points, he's got like great hooks, his content is engaging, but he showed us what he started with and you're like, okay, I don't know that I'd actually watch him like if I started looking at his beginning stuff. And what long-winded answer to what keeps me motivated is he talked about how it was like 5, 6, whatever many years on YouTube. He kept posting his videos and it was encouraging for me. He's from some small town in Canada. And he's like, all the people in my small town in real estate were making fun of me that I'm making my stupid little YouTube videos, doing my stupid content stuff. Like nobody does that. Who do you think you are? For 5 years, I had no success. I had no leads, no contacts, no sponsors, nothing particularly great was happening. Like I would get some traction, but nothing that's like, wow, you made it, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, at the end of the 5th year, when I was ready to give up, I released my last episode on YouTube and it blew up. It was like millions and millions and millions of like views. And then it just like everything fell into place. He's like, but if I would have given up, I would have never had that episode and I would have never made it to where I am now, where I'm making millions and I have all these connections and all this great stuff. He's like, but it was 5 years. Yeah. And he's like, and he showed this like great picture of a miner mining.
I know the picture you're talking about.
Yeah. And he's like, you're right there. The gold's right there. You're almost there, but you give up and you're like this close. Mm-hmm. So that's what helps me like power through when you're like, I don't want to do this. People are like making fun of me. Who am I? What am I, this celebrity? I'm just here to do real estate. I don't want to do social media, right? Kind of thing. But then you realize like the big picture of things and yeah.
No, first off, don't listen to those people.
Yeah.
There's so many people that have opinions and hate.
Yes. And so you have to like, not,
And like the thing is, sure, you didn't sign up to be a social media person. You signed up to do real estate. That just comes with the territory.
It absolutely
times are changing.
Yes.
If you want to stay in business and you want customers, you have to show up where they are. Mm-hmm. And people are on social media.
Yep.
I think businesses that aren't creating content are going to struggle in the next like 2 to 3 years.
Yes, content, AI, figuring out how to leverage your business and do, work smarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if there's a bunch of content around you and how you help people, what do you think the AI is going to recommend when you ask who are the top 5 real estate agents? Mm-hmm. Like it all works together. But we're talking about YouTube, and I think we're talking about content and burning out. I noticed a lot of the content that you make is short form, right?
Yeah.
So I've been making short form content all of 2025, and man, is it exhausting. It takes so much effort. Mm-hmm. It takes so much effort to make a short.
Yes, it does.
And that's actually one of the reasons why I even started this podcast, because long form, is so much better in so many different ways.
Mm.
Number one, less time intensive. We can sit down here for an hour and a half, talk, and then I can sit down, cut out all the clips that I need, and I have like a week's worth of content from 1 hour of
Interesting.
conversation.
Right, because it could be applicable to so many different things.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe the topic for today is like doing your best, or you know, motivation. I can find a clip from our conversation where I can find something and plug it in. So number one, it's way less. It's easier to create. Like when I started this, I was thinking like, I first want to do this podcast, and then I want to tell other people about how easy it is, so that they can do it for themselves. Because this truly is way easier than creating short form content. Way easier. So that's number one. It's easier to create. Number two, the amount of trust that you can build. If the way you build trust with people is you spend time with them.
Yeah.
You listen, you hear their voice, you spend time, and when you have enough time with someone, then that builds up trust.
Right.
Do you know how many reels I would have to watch to spend 1 hour with you?
Right.
That's an insane amount of reels. Whereas you could just listen to one episode.
And I think it's definitely different in person too.
Yeah.
Because watching somebody and thinking you know them versus like being in the same room with somebody is completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I think video is an amazing medium, because just like you can't hide in real life when you show up somewhere. I understand you might not like the way you look, you might not like the way you sound, but you can't hide it. You can't change it.
Right. Nope.
So you just have to show up as yourself. That's the one thing. That's why I love using video. I think it's the most powerful medium to like build personal brand. Is 'cause like you can't hide anything. You just show up the way you are. Sure, you might not like it, but you just have to accept it and move on.
Hey, and you're the only one that God made uniquely the way that you are, right? So,
and it's crazy how much we like don't like ourselves, or I guess the world just conditions us, and we hear all these voices and people telling us that we're not enough, or that we're not beautiful, or like, and God looks at us, like crafted us uniquely to look this way.
I think there's that golden balance. I think a lot of that has to do with the way we were brought up, because we were brought up not to like brag or think about ourselves, and like put yourself aside.
Kill
right?
your ego.
Don't what?
Kill your ego.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that could be hard sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
But
especially when maybe if you're proud of something that you did, like I
right,
think it's
and you don't want
to
to boast.
Right. Like with what you do with your
right.
with your work. Like I think promotion is important. Self-promotion is important. Like that's funny. I had a comment on one of my YouTube videos that I recently uploaded. Someone said, if you don't believe in yourself, why would I believe in you?
Right.
And I'm like, oof, great point.
I think there's that beautiful middle, right? So you don't want to be next to somebody who's cocky, but you also don't want to be next to somebody who's like, oh, I don't know anything. Oh, no, I suck. So you want to be that golden middle, I think, where you're not like super cocky or not confident, but that like golden middle where, obviously you can like let your personality shine, because I feel like that is beautiful. God made us the way that we are for the age that we're born in, right? For the place that we're born in. I don't know why God wanted me to be born in the 90s, right? I could have been born in the 1700s, but nope, that was the time that he chose. The place, I don't know why he wanted me to be born in Ukraine. I could have been born in Africa, but that's what he chose. So I think it's, how do I say this? To take pride in what God made is making of me. And instead of being proud of like, yes, this is me, how great am I? To be like, yeah, that's what he made me.
Yeah.
My Father. And shine his light through me, right?
Yeah. I love that so much. And I love what you said about like, what is God's mission for me today?
Yeah.
Like, first off, knowing, because of your uniqueness, a conversation with you is different than a conversation with me, than anyone else. And when you work with a client and what you're going to say to them and how you're going to treat them, how you're going to react, it's going to be so different than the way anyone else would. And I think God puts us in a specific place, in a specific time, with specific people for a very specific reason. And he has a mission for us every single day. I think
that's so encouraging, right? Like, I feel like that makes whatever we do so much more fulfilling.
Yeah.
If you look at it through that lens.
Yeah, like I was made for this. Like I don't know how or why, but I was.
Yeah, and I can worship God through my podcasts, through because now you're being able to reach people all over the world.
We could sit down and have a conversation, just me and you. It could reach millions of people if I package it correctly, which is a crazy thought for me.
Right.
And that's like that's the whole goal of this podcast right now. Like these are just reps for me. I want to get good at YouTube. I
Yeah.
think YouTube is the most powerful platform. And I think because I got burned out on making short form content, like I can still make shorts from this.
Right.
That's not the goal. The goal is to have good conversations.
Yeah.
I want to grow from this. I want my guests to grow. I want the audience to grow as well. I want them to get something useful out of this. And I know that if I can get good at it, I can impact. Like I think this is the highest return on investment that I can possibly make.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like I don't.
Yeah.
This is a wild time to be alive. The technology that we have,
Yes.
the opportunity that we have, the consumption habits that we have. Like YouTube is more popular than Netflix on TVs.
Which I believe it, because I feel like
My dad's never watched Netflix. My dad lives on YouTube.
I mean, I can imagine that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's amazing. I think every business owner should consider YouTube because, like I said, you want to build trust with your customer.
Yeah.
And if you did a house tour on YouTube, I would probably watch that more than a reel.
Interesting.
Because
Okay.
now I'm just curious. Like that's
I mean,
some of
so
the
I've done that, but because I have a YouTube channel, but it's very sad. So, but yeah,
it's all sad. It's all going to be sad until you.
Well, no. So because I'm trying to budget correctly, so like to do the long form and YouTube, usually like your camera is positioned horizontally versus they need to do it vertically, and so they have to and they cut it differently and they film it differently. So, but that is my goal this year, and God willing, I will achieve it. Is again, I'm trying to build instead of make it perfect. So my goal last year was to do it with a professional videographer every time, but I want to interview local businesses on YouTube. But I think I'm just going to do it by myself with my little iPhone.
That's all you need. Because what's really going to come through is your conversation.
Yeah.
The content is going to come through. Not
so that's the goal.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Do you have how many videos do you want to put on in your YouTube this year?
Ooh.
One a month?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the goal. I think we're not going to, if I do more, which again, God has been really great. If I set a goal, usually I tend to go over that, but yeah. One a month.
That's exciting. I'm gonna.
So I have a few more days
partner.
till January ends, right?
Oh my gosh. What are things that you see working on YouTube? Because first off, YouTube is a packaging game more than it is anything else.
Yeah.
It's all title, thumbnail. That's all it is.
Yep.
And I've been banging my head against the wall trying to figure out how to do it. It's hard. It just takes a lot of time, but eventually I will get good at it. I will figure it out, and I'll be able to package the things. Like the video. The first 30 seconds matter, and then make the video about whatever you were going to make it in the first place. But the first 30 seconds, tell the people what they're going to see, give them a reason to stick around to the end. And if you can nail that in 30 seconds, everything else you do after that almost doesn't matter.
I agree with you. And also I think your SEOs, right, that you're putting in there are important.
Yeah.
Because I've had some videos that performed really well on YouTube that I was not expecting, and some that I actually put a lot of effort in that I had only a couple views, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. There's a super disproportionate amount of effort to reward, or I don't know, it's the 80-20
Yeah,
rule.
but I mean, I've had this with Instagram too. There was a reel, funny enough, that my sister-in-law was like, you should do this. And it was the most random video to me that I put literally zero effort in that got millions of views. And then the other ones that I really sit there and think what's my hook? What's this? What's that? And they suck.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating.
It's tough, but YouTube's so worth it.
Yeah.
I think it's more worth it than any other platform.
Well, because I feel like you can then integrate all of that into, the rest of social media.
Yeah, for sure. And you make it once and then you can cut it up, use, do whatever you want with it.
You have so much content.
For sure. What formats do you see working on YouTube for real estate? Because what I've seen for real estate agents is a personalized house tour.
Yeah.
Where you're just adding a lot of personality and talking about the house, and you're in frame, and then you're giving someone a tour, essentially.
Yep. So that's worked a lot. And then people are really interested to see price point in a particular area, what's around there and that sort of thing. So
you know what I would love to see? Give me a house.
Okay.
And then break down all the comps around it.
Ooh, interesting.
You're okay, so here's this house. They don't know where to price it at. This video, we're going to go through the 5 comps in this area, and we're going to talk about them, why.
I'm going to have to write that down. That's
or
a great
why
one.
they're
Right. Why we're pricing this way.
Yeah, exactly. I would be super interested in that because that like I don't know anything about. Like, you know, I've pulled comps before, but like, so like this one has 4 bathrooms, this one has 3, so we're gonna take this much off, and just like have like a total on the right hand side of like the figures, and all that stuff. I would love that. Like, I think a lot of people overthink. It's all in the idea. It's all in the idea and the title. Like if you nail that, the quality you can be shot on your iPhone. It doesn't matter. If you just know the concept of the video and you know it's a proven thing, like people would watch this, it doesn't matter how you record it.
What about, okay, that I really, really like that idea. What about having a mansion in a not so great neighborhood or this like super duper well done house and they think it's worth, I don't know, millions or like, you know, a lot luxury for what we would call in Harrisonburg. Okay. But that house is not worth that much. And why?
Yeah. Amazing. Like, here's how the video starts. This couple thinks this house is worth $500,000. But is it really? In this video, we're going to break down all the comparable or all the comps and figure out exactly how much. We're going to break down every part of this house and figure out exactly how much it's worth. Yeah. Or whatever.
And just be that mean realtor who's like bashing on their house now.
No, I mean, I feel like
but yeah. And unfortunately, like I am honest to a fault because when I come to my client's house, especially like if we're selling, I am brutally honest with them. Yeah. And I have been trying to work on my presentation. But like
very Russian of you.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Yeah. I don't like to like tell people that everything's amazing if they need to restage their house or like, you know, if something's outdated, then I try to kindly tell them that because people buy with their eyes. And sometimes like something doesn't like your style might not be my style and that will throw you off. And the house is amazing, but the staging is off and like people are like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know. Like what is it that's not clicking for me? And then you change those couple things and it like makes the biggest deal.
Yeah, for sure. It's all packaging. Yeah. It's all packaging.
So it's fascinating. But yeah, like I tell people that and I feel like sometimes maybe it's just me because I don't like telling people that. I know they put so much like love and energy towards their house. And then here comes Julie who's like, okay, we're going to have to change this, change that, move that, take that away. And they're like,
yeah, it can be tough to accept. But if you do it lovingly, then
yeah, right.
I think you just have to like,
the
what's
Slavic
the goal?
Way, the loving Slavic way.
Right. Does
what
that
is
exist?
That?
No, I think if the end goal is the same and you can be like, okay, do we want results or do we want to protect our feelings here?
Right.
There's like a balance there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be a really good format. If I think of any other formats, I will let you know. But anything that's like behind the scenes, like because like people care about numbers. Like first off, anytime you have a number, put that in the YouTube title.
Interesting. Okay.
So like, why this house is worth $4,384,000. I'm automatically interested.
Number,
like why?
Right? Yeah.
Like,
why? Right.
Exactly.
That's true.
Like any number that you have that's like not just like or like top 5 houses under $500,000 in Harrisonburg.
Interesting.
I'm watching that.
Okay.
Like I can tell you a fact. I'm watching because like there's not a lot of good content about our area, which I think is an
on
opportunity.
YouTube especially, which is one of the reasons why I want to be more on YouTube.
Right.
I looked at it and I'm like, there's like 2 people and
yeah, for sure. And like the videos about Harrisonburg are not very
better.
Yeah, and like there's nothing wrong with thinking that. I know you could, but like we could use more. Like I think we could use more content about our area, and that's actually one of the things. Like at first when I started this pod, I was thinking like I'll start with the local audience. And I'll like build it around Harrisonburg itself, and then eventually once I get good at like interviewing, do all that, then I'll like branch out, do more. I don't want people to watch just because it's local. I think it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. We just happen to be in Harrisonburg. The content for a lot of businesses here, their business will be in Harrisonburg. My business probably won't be in Harrisonburg. I'll figure it out. But we need more good content in this area for sure. That's a fact. And no one's doing it. So like, why not stand out? Why not do it?
100%.
And like this area is growing, but like, so is Charlottesville too. Like there's no,
very much so. Yeah.
There's not that much YouTube content about Charlottesville. And like, YouTube is the second biggest search engine.
Right. It's crazy.
It's probably going to be the biggest because Google AI is taking a lot of that. So.
Right. Well, and Instagram now is searchable as well.
That's right. Yeah, they just had that update. TikTok is as well. But like all these things, like local, like even TikTok. If you type in Harrisonburg on TikTok, there's not that much.
Yep.
Like it's really kind of scarce.
But that's why you don't give up, because everybody else is like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And you're going to be the only one. And
For
at one
sure.
point, that's going to pay off.
And like now that I'm in a different stage of my life, I'm thinking about housing and thinking about buying a house. Me and my friends, all we do is like look at Zillow at work
so
all day.
funny.
Like we'll just send each other like listings, and they're in Charlottesville.
Yeah.
So we just like
Yeah,
spend all
Charlottesville
time.
is very expensive
I
in
know, it's
comparison to
crazy.
Harrisonburg.
But
I have a special heart for Charlottesville.
Yeah, what do you love about Charlottesville?
Okay, so coming from a bigger city, but also falling in love with like the small town vibes.
It's a perfect mix.
It's got like a little bit of like that city feel and some of like more of the shopping that I would like. Specifically like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Anthropology.
Right. Yeah. Like little things that I feel like could be fun. Maybe not every day, but just like, something different versus Harrisonburg. What I do love about Harrisonburg is while we don't have all of that, we have so many like really cool local shops that kind of do the same idea, but like locally. So that honestly actually is amazing.
But yeah, there's a lot of content opportunities, and like
always,
what I love the most about content is like you make it once, and organic. Like,
right.
do you do any ads?
I have, but I don't know that they're always worth it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of ads. In fact, I think most people, the way real estate has a bad rep, I think marketing has a super bad rep, because you have so many people that promise you all these things, and they're gonna take all your money and be like, we got you this many impressions. Like, it's just such a ripoff, I think. I mean, not everyone. Obviously, there's good people.
Yes.
There are good people that can do it, but I think rightfully so, marketing has a bad rep because there's so many scammers. There's so many people that will promise you the world and then not deliver on it, and I hate that. So like,
or it's not exactly what you thought it would be. So it's like, man, there are so many businesses that target real estate agents and like, oh, we'll provide you leads or this, that, or the other, but like their lead quality is terrible. And that's actually like honestly why I've stopped in the beginning. Yeah, like I don't. I tried it very temporarily. I paid a couple $100. No, probably a couple thousand, and then because I had a contract, and then it was terrible because so like when somebody refers you to me, right? You're like, okay, so she must be good. My friend so and so worked. Okay, so you might not know me, but you already have a sort of level of trust.
Of course.
Versus
my
like,
friend gave it to me.
right,
Yeah.
somebody calls me from Zillow or Realtor.com or really anywhere else that you can be getting leads from. First of all, a lot of people like have a realtor and I legally cannot work with you.
Right.
But then they lie to me and they're like, oh no, I don't have somebody. And then you go show them the house and they're like, oh yeah, they were just out of town. And I just really wanted to see this house and they were unavailable. Yeah. So there's a lot of fun stuff like that. Or you just pay for people who don't know what they want or are just asking questions, or it's like, anyways, the like, obviously people pay and it works. But what I'm trying to build is very different from that.
Exactly. And that's exactly how I feel. I want something different. I want a different vibe. I'm not trying to be transactional. I'm trying to be like conversational. Because
I feel like, you can do better, right?
What would make the most sense for me is to figure out who I'm interviewing, what their audience is, and then find a sponsor that makes sense for that audience. Because it's not just going to be my audience. And especially,
it's collaborating.
Right. Because for you, it totally makes sense to have like an internet service provider sponsor because you're doing houses and all this stuff. Right. It could make sense for a few other guests, but if someone is maybe like a bagel shop, like I did Mr. J's Bagels, like for them, ISP probably wouldn't make sense, but I could find a different one that would.
But you never know. What you said right now made me think of this. So there were like certain artists, whether you like her or not, Taylor Swift, and others like Madonna, and just so on. Why are they so successful? Is because they do collaborations, one, and not in the same industry like of like what they do. So for example,
if you're so if you're
R&B or with country, where their audience and the other audience clash together and like, wow, this is amazing. This is great, you know? And so you get like, I feel like it builds momentum, but it also like opens up a whole different thing, and it's great for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great idea. I'm gonna credit you with that one from here on out. So
there you go. Right.
Thank you so much.
Well, I mean, I heard that. I'm not sure where, but it was on a podcast about branding, and that's what they said is the way to grow is collaboration.
Yeah.
Because if you think you could do it yourself, you probably could, but the way to growth and success is together.
For sure.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the best ways to grow your podcast is to go show up on other people's podcasts, which is funny.
Which is, like you'd think it's, counterintuitive. Like
Right.
I'm supposed to build my thing up, but no. Yeah.
Yeah, funny. What you've mentioned podcasts a few times. What are your favorite podcasts to listen to?
So many. I love A Changed Mind by David Bayer. That's probably like one I listen to every day.
Okay.
I love Diary of a CEO. I love the Model Health Show by Sean Stevenson. So he talks a lot about like mindset, but also health, and like actually breaks it down in a way that like your average person can understand who's not a scientist or like a nutritionist or whatever. I think those are
Okay,
those
that's
are my
solid.
top. Yeah.
If you could see, like you know me, you've spent an hour talking to me now,
Right.
more maybe too. What kind of podcast do you see me making? Like which direction should I go in?
I feel like when you start out, you're trying to almost like low key find yourself.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Right. And then after you do certain amount, I think God, especially if you're asking him, really shows you more of what you need to be doing. And that kind of happened for me in real estate. Like obviously in the beginning, you're like, okay, I don't really know. Anything's great. Right. And then as you do more and more of it, you really narrow down. You're like, wow, okay, for me, it's new construction. And God's like in his own miraculous and beautiful way has led us to build our own homes, which honestly, I would have never imagined us doing, and working with investors and that sort of thing. And then, maybe one day developing things and stuff like that. But it came from just doing real estate and then opportunities coming our way.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, that's what I want to specialize in, or like relocation. I mean, I feel like that's near and dear to my heart because I moved here.
Yeah. Well, first off, a lot of people need help. Like the company I work at, we have a hard time getting people. Like we need specialists, and they're not here, so we need to get them to move here. So that's like a whole division that we have.
Yeah, finding specialists for Harrisonburg can be tricky. Yes.
Right. So no, it's very much needed.
Yeah, but I enjoy specifically. I mean, I love working with anybody, but I love working with people that are moving here because I feel like they have so much emotional, like, wow, I don't know what to do here. I don't know what's a good neighborhood. What's it like? Where do you eat? Like, where do you go? What do I look out for here? And I know exactly how that feels because I moved here.
Yeah.
So I feel feels so good.
I didn't even know you moved from California.
Okay, yeah.
So like make content about that.
Yeah, I was 21.
Yeah. So you need to make content about that. You need to like talk about what you first experienced when you moved here, where you lived. Maybe it would be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
A YouTube video about that would be great.
Okay.
That way, because like you make the video one time, then you can show all your clients, and then if it does pop off, then people will find you and be like, oh, I also want to move here. Let me reach out to this person. Like, and they also get to know you as a creator. They get to know you as a real estate agent. They get to know you like personally.
As the person that moved.
Yeah. So it goes deep. It really does. But yeah, like you said, I'm just figuring out what I'm doing. I'm only a few episodes in, but like, I don't know how to figure it out other than just doing it.
Honestly, that's the best way.
So I'll figure it out. I know I want to talk about content. I get fired up. Like I love content. Also, I want to be known for personal branding. Like if you ask me like what do I want to be known for, I would say like having an impact in people's lives. But to me, that's what personal branding is. To me, it's just like who you are as a person
is your brand.
Yeah, it's like it's just like what do people say about you? What kind of impact does he have? Is he like what's the vibe? What's all that stuff. To me, I want to make that. I want to help people. I want to be known. I want to be known as someone who loved well. Yeah, that was caring, that was sensitive, that was like observant, that was just like a person that could have some depth and also was able to help people through that. Like I think I'm unique. I was a very sensitive baby growing up.
Yeah.
But I love that about myself. Like I've learned to love it, and now I think it puts me in a position to like where I can just be observant and pick up on things and help people in the way that I think they need to be
Right.
helped. I think my voice has certain qualities that I want to lean into.
hmm
What is the one thing that you want to be known for?
That's a great one. I want to be known for, having a kind soul and being a helper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
I think that's, I respected that a lot in my grandma. And she had a very difficult life. And when she passed in 2020. And unfortunately, she wasn't really able to have a funeral. But so many people knew her, and so many people, like, that was, I don't know, that really resonated with me, that I could see that like woven across her life. And then like when she passed, how deeply that touched everyone. And it didn't matter what it was. Like, so she was in the sewing industry, right? So she actually, like, well, you probably didn't know my grandma, but
I don't think so.
your parents did.
Probably.
Yes. But yeah, so she used to, back in Ukraine, sew outfits for models and for competitions and stuff like that. And so she was very well known for her sewing and her creativity in that world. So you would think, just as I feel like it could apply to any industry, like how can you serve God with that? But she managed to do that like so creatively. So helping families that couldn't buy nice clothes, she would make them dresses or cute outfits, or sew, gowns for church, or sew like different like material for like the Passover or whatever, or for outfits for plays that our church would have, or, brides that couldn't afford to go somewhere. Like, and so when she passed, everybody's like, wow, she had this loving and like servant's heart. So I don't know, that was beautiful. And I feel like that she changed people's lives through that. So I would like to carry that on.
I think you do a really good job of doing that already.
Thank you. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I fall short, but yeah,
I mean,
praise God for everything.
praise God. And I think we all fall short. And it's okay.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's all about consistency.
Right.
You've been showing up for 6 years doing this very publicly. And hats off to you. I think that is an admirable trait. I think people really see it. So if people want to connect with you, where can they find you?
All over the place. So they can find me on social media, obviously.
What's the best one?
Social media.
What's your favorite?
So I am old school. You can clearly tell my age because there's this like camp of like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in that middle age where I'm still the Instagram person, and I haven't quite like moved over to TikTok, even though I'm trying to like consistently post there too.
Mm-hmm.
But Instagram probably would be the best.
What's your handle?
It's Julie Kat, K-A-T, and then _ realtor.
Okay.
Or you can always email me. So I don't know. Do you want that email?
Yeah, sure. I can also just put it in the show notes at the bottom.
That would be great. That would probably be easier. Yeah.
Julie, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much.